Hey, we are finally there. No thanks to John.
You don't want to come over and do the networking here.
You know, I'm just about to schedule that. So, you know what? Let's talk. Let's find a
All
day.
right.
Let's get it done.
I have lots of beers
Yeah,
that I need to get rid
well, in
of.
that case, I can drive over now.
Hey, we'll be like when Steve comes over. You'll be on one end, I'll be on the
There
other,
you go.
and we'll be fine.
Socially distanced in person. Welcome to Talking
There.
Heads, everyone. Episode 220, your once weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news, and the biggest waste of time that WSV has ever seen in his life. I'm Jeff.
I'm John.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us on this Wednesday night, or in podcast form over on Anchor.fm, or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. If you've never seen the show before, we talk beer, we talk tech, we talk games, pop culture, entertainment, usually some Star Trek. We do read all super chats on the air, so long as they will not permanently demonetize my channel. We do drink alcohol on the show, and if you're drinking along with us, alcoholic or not, let us know in the chat, and we'll give some early show shoutouts as we go along. And last but not least, if you'd like to take part in the super secret chat and the even more super secret after party, think about joining the Patreon. Link is down in the video description. As a bonus, you'll get exclusive access to my Discord server, where you can chat with myself, John, Rhett, Steve, all the hosts from Talking Heads, and take part in the awesome community that hangs out over there.
Yes.
Good times. Yeah, I don't know that there's been a more vocal... How do I phrase this nicely? WSV, you have my attention, good sir. I subscribe to Disney Plus. There's millions of hours of content on there. I only watch The Mandalorian, and that's my choice. You can watch all the server tutorials and put together Synology NAS, although ironically enough, I've never put together a Synology NAS in my life. That was one of the comments he left on a YouTube video earlier this week. I've never put together a Synology NAS. I don't know why you brought that up, but...
Because you should.
But hey, screw you. This is my channel. I do what I want. Haven't seen any content from you lately. John, you haven't put out videos in like months. Where you been, man?
There was a guy left a comment on one of my videos of the non-alcoholic beers. He's like, if you don't want alcohol, just go have a Coke. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. What if I don't want sugar? Because then there's Coke Zero.
Right.
That's the point, dude. And then, you know, I love it. The people that are criticizing, you go to their page and zero content, and then you look at like what they like and everything. You're like,
I don't need to impress you.
Yeah, it's like I don't care. Whatever, man.
Yeah, content has been a little slow lately. As they all say, life comes at you fast. It's been a rough month. I've alluded to that a couple of times here on the show. You know, the hits just kind of kept on coming there for a little bit. Luckily, we did get some fantastic news regarding my son. I'm not going to go into any details here, but there were some pretty massive concerns up to and including potential surgery on a 2-month-old. Like, we were not in having the best of times, but we got some fantastic news as far as the imaging goes. His results came back. He had 2 different sets of x-rays and then actually went in for the barium contrast scan, looking at basically top to bottom and trying to find out what was causing some issues. Came back clear and kind of means that he's avoided surgery entirely, which is like fantastic news. So we also had a loss in my family a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, that was a rough little bit of time. But things are kicking up. Rhett actually starts full time on Tuesday. Like, we're a week away.
I feel sorry for Rhett.
I know, right?
Do my laundry. You're like, I'm all done with editing, Jeff. What do you want me to do? Here's my laundry. Yeah. Make me a sandwich. Open my beer for me. I can't even do this for myself anymore.
As my first boss in IT used to say, his favorite job description is, or favorite job duty is other duties as assigned.
Yes.
He would put that in everyone's job description.
Yeah, see, you need to have like the first video is Rhett opening your beer for you.
Yeah.
There we go.
Here you go, sir. Have him screw it up too, like pour way too big of a head on it.
Damn it! One more time, Rhett. What did I say?
Anyway, we do have a couple of super chats here. Tech Geek sends over $15. Thank you very much, sir. My deepest condolences for your loss, and I hope your son is doing well. Thank you very much. He is starting to do significantly better. So I do very much appreciate that. Keep doing what you're doing to be there for your family, even if that means we don't get new content as often. Like I said, I do what I want. That's the benefit of running my own channel. It's my channel. I answer to me, and that's it.
Yeah. Well, the best part too is,
and I hope you guys like
it. If you are missing some content, you could just join the Discord, and there's lots of content on there.
Ask
and
me a question.
Ask questions. You get to see, what we're doing throughout the day. Yeah, content.
Right. There's plenty of extra over there.
Yeah.
And we do a 2-hour live show every week. Apparently that's not someone's jam, but for a good chunk of you, you definitely like the show. So thank you for tuning in. Kren sends over the warmest of good days. Thank you so much, Kren, with the 5 Aussie bucks. I'll see how they spend up here. Elmas sends over 500 yen and message retracted. I don't know where that one went. Let's see. Ryan sends over $10. MSP Life got a free $700 brand new UPS today because the company didn't want to add a network module to it. Instead of buying the new UPS with the same model with it pre-installed, they just bought one with the model, or they just bought one with the model pre-installed rather than buying the module. Those are the best kinds of things. I love doing MSP stuff because sometimes it's like, yeah, it's not worth the hassle. So if you want to take that home, we're not going to use it. Okay. Those were always awesome. American Cosworth's under $5 and wants to know, John, how much have you spent on your Steam account? We were doing some Steam account comparisons on the Discord earlier today.
Oh, not much. I haven't spent stuff on Steam in a long time with, Tap Room and then Kid and then stuff like this. I messaged him back. I said, you should go ask Steve that question.
Yeah, Steve is the decided number one. I actually felt a fourth on the list. But to be fair, I also have one of the largest Good Old Games libraries in there, which would bump me up quite significantly if we counted that in. So, let's see. Michael sends over $5. Stay strong. Betalauda? I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what that was too.
We live by another day. Skull sends over $5. So does that mean Red is awesome? Gets all the mod duties as the new full-time guy. He can probably take over some of those. We'll have to see. Let's see. Elmist, 500 yen. Afternoon, gents. Enjoying a Jack and Coke. Everyone that hasn't done it, join the Discord. Do it now. Do it now. He says.
Do it now.
Get to the Discord.
He's in the mud. Do it now.
Do it now.
But speaking of Jack and Cokes and drinking stuff, I could use a beer.
I could as well. John, what are you drinking tonight? I'm sorry, I'm gonna adjust your camera angle here a little bit.
Oh, that's fine. I'll just move.
Yeah. And of course I went too big with it. I was getting way too much of your crotch. It was starting to disturb my more sensitive viewers. There we go.
I went to the store and I was in the mood for a stout, but then I saw this and I decided upon this first. So I went with Great Notions Super Duper Ripe.
Ooh.
And I thought this was a double IPA.
I love how I switched the camera angle and your beer can got smaller. So that didn't work.
Yeah.
Great Notion Super Duper IPA is what you said?
Super duper ripe.
Super Duper ripe. Oh, wow.
Yes. So 10%. I thought it was a double.
Look how bright that is. Holy crap.
Yes.
Like, I know you have a light pointing right at it, but
actually I don't.
that color is just...
I think it's just my saturation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's a tasty looking beer.
Ooh, it's a very multi-aromatic beer too, I'll tell you that much.
I am going with one that I had not seen before from Deschutes Brewing. This is a limited release, also a West Coast IPA. This is the Symphonic Chronic. So, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a little curious on this one. And I love your choice in glassware, by the way. Not quite the same, but it's
not quite. It's like half. Well, I have the 16 ounce. You have the 12 ounce.
Right. Well, mine doesn't do the full tulip. It's an open top.
Yeah.
So there we go. Excuse me. All right. Those, I got to say, are two of the best looking beers we've had on the show in a while.
Oh, I know.
Like, it's rare that we both get the pours right.
That is true.
Lemon and resident of Colorado or Oregon.
I was going to say, your Deschutes being that I'm betting it's probably more of a traditional Northwestern style.
Like I said, lemon, maybe a little pineapple. Kind of that blend. But dank. Which I would expect from the chronic half of that name.
Yeah, so then it's probably I found that there's probably like a new Northwest style, which is more of the citrus mosaic and lemony, but they don't necessarily make it hazy. It's not danky. That's like almost, I would almost classify those as the new Northwest style.
That's exactly what this is. It's very dank on the nose, like hoppy, very, very hoppy on the nose, and lemony, and like I said, maybe just that little bit of pineapple kind of floating in the background. Flavor wise, man, this is like a mildly hoppy lemonade.
Ooh.
Not even close to what I expected, especially given the nose on it. Yeah, it's almost shandy-like.
I'm gonna try something really quick.
Okay. Try moving the camera.
Everyone's complaining that I'm ghostly white.
Oh. Have you met John?
I know. That's just like there. At least now I have this, which is so funny. All of the lights are on the other end, and I'm still quite bright.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to turn your gamma down so you can go ahead and kick that light back on.
Okay.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, John got a new setup, and he keeps changing it every week, so my color correction that I do on this side of things...
Yeah, that is a problem.
Yeah. Because not everyone has...
Oh, yeah, that's way better.
Yeah. All right. John looks so sophisticated in that chair. It's easy to get in and out of, says Ryan for $5. Thank you, Ryan.
Well, I wanted to do the wider angle because I wanted to have my sword in the background. I wanted to have my Buster sword. But I guess not. Some things just don't work out.
Yep. Yeah, sometimes your internet is more Comcastic than you would like.
Comcast. Gotta love them.
Yep. All right. Well, I just realized I hadn't even brought up the show notes or...
Me neither.
So maybe I should start doing my job.
Where's Rhett when you need him?
I know, right?
Rhett's gonna have to set up every Wednesday for you.
That'd be fantastic, actually.
And then he has to drive home.
Right. Actually, what I'm hoping for is, spoiler alert, sometime this year I'm going to be building a studio. I'm hoping to have a permanent streaming setup where that's all we do on that desk. So it's either me doing a solo stream or it'll have room for a co-host to sit next to me. But the computer is a dedicated streaming box. The capture card is just for that. The audio equipment is just for that. And then I don't have to dual purpose it, because that does lead to the occasional mistake, both on this show and when I'm trying to do in-studio recording. So it'd be nice to have one setting for one thing and one setting for another, and they don't cross.
Yeah, so once a week I just use this and that's it. I just point it, leave it there. I can almost just lock it in place.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, that's my hope. Right. Let's start out with a little bit of NVIDIA news. Not the NVIDIA news you all are probably thinking of with the launch of the RTX 3050. We'll get to that in a minute. Rather, NVIDIA appears to be quietly backing out of their $40 billion plan to acquire ARM Holdings. That is ARM, the chip maker. So they're not really giving a reason why, but this was almost 2 years ago. NVIDIA stepped up and said, we would like to buy ARM. We would like to heavily invest in them, use them both for artificial intelligence as well as their smartphone portfolio, which pretty much everyone uses. Integrated circuits, embedded devices. They're in cars. They're in just about everything now. And so, excuse me. For most companies, especially one with NVIDIA wanting to get more of both a mobile and a desktop foothold, it made perfect sense. Why start making x86 chips based on Intel or AMD when you're just going to pay licensing to them for that technology, when you can literally own your own set of instructions and chip designs and everything else and use them for that? That was the thought. As it turns out, it looks like the governments are not wanting to play ball. Either the governments or the market leaders who have business relationships with ARM or competitors of ARM don't want this deal going through. And there are government regulations you have to go through, especially with, two multi-billion-dollar companies potentially joining forces to edge out competition or...
Yeah, you have to go through the whole monopoly process.
Right, exactly. Well, it appears they got their answer of, you're not going to pass go, you're not going to collect $200. In fact, NVIDIA will now have to write a $1.25 billion loss on the investment that they spent trying to get this deal done.
Yeah. No, I remember we talked about this because I think this deal was like 2020, and we were super excited for this, for the mobile processing graphics and everything like that. And I'm really sad to see this, because I was really hoping that this was in the very near future be a big jump and leap into mobile gaming and or better graphics for even cheaper end devices. Not even just the gaming aspect, but just the Raspberry Pis of the world, lower end cell phones too, will then have possibly really great graphics too.
Yeah. Well, look at devices like the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch is an NVIDIA Tegra, which is based on ARM with an NVIDIA GPU. I did get a great question in here. Where was it at? The Moxman. How would NVIDIA owning ARM be counterintuitive to competition? ARM's competitors are Intel and AMD. That's not necessarily the case. There's also MIPS, which is also another low volt type or low TDP type processor with specific instruction sets that is separate from ARM. but NVIDIA is very much a competitor of ARM when it comes to mobile GPU space. And so this is less about Intel being a competitor to ARM and more about NVIDIA being a competitor to ARM and trying to buy up a competitor. And NVIDIA wants very much to compete both in the mobile and in the desktop space. And on the desktop side of things, that would definitely give them an edge in going after Intel and AMD. Look no further than Apple with their M1, which is an ARM-based CPU. And, you know, the amount of butt that they've been able to kick over there as far as performance and power to performance, it'd make an intriguing combo. And there's nothing saying that NVIDIA still couldn't forge a partnership with ARM. I mean, that was one of the original goals of this whole thing, was to start making more and more collaborative devices. And it just...
Now, is just curious, is like Intel or AMD, do they have contracts with ARM? I assume they all probably have some form of a contract. Because
I'm fairly certain that Intel does. Not necessarily in their desktop or discrete CPU market, but possibly for some of their controller stuff, possibly for some when they were doing 4G and 5G radios. I guess Intel has since sold off that division, but when they were doing that type of things, I believe that some of the back end was using ARM.
I would then just be curious, thinking that, like, okay, maybe the powers that be are saying, like, hey, you're gonna then take over these people who right now, okay, you're all graphics cards competitors, but you might soon move into, you know, processors and other things, and they want to do that too, so you're going to hold a monopoly over them and their contracts and their development. And I don't know, I'm just thinking right now, but it's so weird because right now, it's like you said, it was a quiet kind of backing out. Wasn't a big announcement or anything like that, and they're losing money. So there's not still a whole lot of details of why they backed out. For all we know, maybe it was all them just saying, you know what, we found this is not just good for us. We'll take the $1.25 billion loss. In all honesty, it is big, but it's like,
it's not
you know, like exactly. It's like, okay, yeah, here you go. That's R&D for them on a single chip that will probably never come to the light of day.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I am more curious because I was looking forward to something like this, you know, low voltage graphics card type ARM processor, so that basically you could do whatever you want in anything, you know, almost any device right now. It sounds awesome.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I had forgotten that AMD actually does use it with their Epic and Threadripper Pro. I believe that they had some ARM utilization in there.
I think someone was saying there's ARMs used in a lot of car manufacturing too.
Yes. No, ARM is very much used in the automotive industry, both for infotainment, for ECU, for a lot of various things, because they can be programmed with very specific instruction sets to run them very quickly and do it at very low power and very reliably. So, yeah. Anyway, NVIDIA is backing out of that partnership.
They're losing an arm, but hopefully not a leg.
Yeah. Yep. Thank you, John. The joke was there the whole time. You just had to put it together. Oy, John, everyone.
What's that Family Guy? That's our Quagmire.
What do you say we give the people what they really want, and that's a sponsor segue to today's video sponsor in Linode. Today's episode is brought to you by none other than Linode. If you've ever wanted to host your own servers, whether it be for home or business use, but don't have the resources or time to invest into hardware, power, cooling, or even space, you know, like the madman that I am, why not let Linode host them for you? If it runs on Linux, it'll run on Linode. That includes the software for most of the tutorials on my channel, like how to run your own ad-blocking recursive DNS servers, VPN gateways, your own cloud-based Plex server, and more. With shared CPU plans starting at as little as $5 per month and scaling up to as high as you need to go, you'll be able to find a hosting plan that fits your needs. Even if you do host your own servers, you can use Linode to keep a backup off-site, because remember, RAID is not a backup. Linode also recently announced they are the first alternative cloud provider to have NVMe block storage available to all customers. Back in September, they began rolling out NVMe drives to all 11 of their global data centers. Best of all, storage rates will remain at the same low price they always have been. Visit linode.com/craftcomputing and get a $100 60-day credit when signing up for a new account. That's linode.com/craftcomputing, and thank you again to Linode for sponsoring today's episode.
Thank you, Linode. So remember, if you want some space, save some money, use that promo code, people. Save that green.
Yep.
Wait, did you say 120?
Huh?
Did you say 120 in your promo?
$100 60-day credit.
Ah, I thought you said $120.
Nope. $100 60-day credit.
Ah, okay.
We did have a couple super chats. Let me scroll back up here. American Cosworth, shout out to fellow YouTuber Timmy Joe Tech. Glad he's doing well after open heart surgery. Yeah, I saw that he went through open heart surgery. I didn't realize he was going in for it until I saw the tweet where he's in a hospital bed and he says, "I'm still alive." And I went, holy crap, dude. So yeah, Timmy Joe, glad to see you're doing well, and please continue doing so. Novella Hub, $5. Does Rhett get paid in Rainier? No, but I think I need to start stocking it here at home.
That means you got to make room in your fridge, and you got to get rid of some of your other stuff.
No, it just means I need another fridge.
There's the big walk-in fridge for Jeff, and then Rhett gets a little like mini cooler, mini fridge with like a 6-pack.
You know how it goes, John. You don't reduce the number of fridges you have. You just get a bigger fridge because inventory's not going down.
Oh yeah, of course.
What am I going to do when I hire another person?
Yes.
You know?
Watch, you're going to do that, and they're like, I'm a wine person.
That's totally fine.
That's fine, but now I got to build a wine cellar. Although, see, I was talking to
I can get a little wine chiller, like a 12-bottle chiller for $100.
Yeah.
So,
someone was saying I should go and because I'm starting to run out of space, just because I'm collecting more now.
Yeah.
And then I don't have room for just the regular drinking stuff. And
I was out of standards a couple of weeks ago, so I had to come home with like 3 12 packs.
I had to go buy beer for today. It was either that or I was like, even yesterday I was like, I've been craving a stout for days, and then I had to go to my fridge. I was like, all right, what's the least likely one? 2019 Big Bad Baptista Brandy Barrel Aged.
Mine was
that's the worst I got.
Mine was a 2019 Abyss.
Yeah,
I opened my fridge and it's like,
I'll part with this, I guess.
Yeah, do I want the 2020 Bourbon County Stout, or do I want the It's like, I don't want to open any of those right now.
Exactly. It's like, all right, what's in the bag? Oh, I kind of forgot about you. Okay, because of that, I'm gonna feel less pain opening you. And it was delicious too, actually, because I had like the peanut butter one on the show and it wasn't that good, but this brandy one was like, yeah, this is the Bad Baptiste I remember, or the Big Bad. But anyway, someone was saying that they were saying because they have those yard coolers. You know, you dig like 8 feet underneath with like a pipe and a spring load, and they'll pop up. And I was like, oh, I should do that as I'm mowing my lawn. I'll just like hit it, and a beer will pop up as I'm mowing, chug it down, and just keep walking. And I could then judge how long it takes to do my lawn by how many beers I have. Just be like, all right, it's a 2-beer lawn day.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So
I hire lawn guys. I'm one of them. I hate yard work. I can't stand yard work.
I enjoy some of I hate the tedious like weed pulling.
Yeah.
But I like mowing the lawn. I like trimming some trees, stuff like that. But I hate, there's weeds everywhere. I want to spray it.
Yeah. See,
and I won't even pull it.
I can do some of the larger stuff. I keep our I wanted a house with no trees on it, or a property with no trees on it. I bought this house. It has 39 trees on the property.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden I have to maintain them all. And I don't mind going up and trimming branches and whatnot. We have a whole stack of arborvitaes in our backyard. I don't mind keeping them looking nice and whatnot. I hate mowing the lawn. I hate weed whacking. I hate pulling weeds. I hate gardening. It's just not me. I don't like that kind of stuff.
I like it. It's just it's a complete opposite then of computers.
Yeah.
It's so, back to not basics, but just away from tech, non-electrical, although there's the electrical stuff. I was trying to come on with something, but just technical, jargon. I just put on my soundproofing headphones, and I tell my son, don't come near me when I'm doing stuff, because I won't hear you. My wife has to call me just because they're Bluetooth connected.
Yeah. To
tell me she's right behind me. Because I zone out.
Yeah.
And it's just I'll just zone out. And then bonfires. I love bonfires.
Oh, I love bonfires. That I can do.
I'll go to the farm and just purposely cut down that needs trim. Gotta burn this.
Denver sends over a $5 donation. nVidia could have done this all years ago without buying ARM. They abandoned the market, or clearly want to charge too much, $300 for a 6-core chip. Not quite sure what that's in regards to, because nVidia doesn't sell CPUs.
No.
Sends over another $5. Denver says you can currently buy those NVIDIA. Oh, he's talking about the Jetsons. Okay. Okay. Yeah, the Jetson Nano and the Jetson TX2, extremely overpriced. Buying ARM won't change that. Those are extremely overpriced because they are development boards. They're not meant for end-use embedded projects. And so you're paying more for access to that hardware that you will later turn into a product of your own. That's kind of what the Raspberry Pi is supposed to be also. It's just the Raspberry Pi is so inexpensive, and it's good enough for so many things that you can use it as a $35 to $85 computer. I mean, heck, the 2 gig model you can run a full Ubuntu desktop on now. I mean, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, they're 2 very different platforms aimed at 2 very different markets. Yeah, the Jetson Nano is $160 to $200, I think, for the dev board. And the TX2, I think, is $400, if I'm remembering correctly. But you're paying to access those, so you can use it as a development platform to develop your own phone based off of that chip, or your own computer or embedded solution or AI, machine learning vision thing. That's what they're meant for. They're not meant for you to buy and use as emulation boxes. NetGuy sends over $5. Congrats to Rhett on getting a job that lets you drink on the clock. Yeah, John needs to find one of those. Do Oregon labor laws...
They just don't know it.
Right. Do Oregon labor laws mean he'll have to keep his shirt on now? Technically, he's a contractor. So while I can set dress attire for here, or set a dress code, he doesn't necessarily need to follow it, and I would just need to discontinue his contract. But technically, he's his own boss too, so.
So wait, does he set his own rate then?
Yep.
Yep. So then I could. All right, cool. All right.
And Cosworth says, please enforce a minimum clothing or workplace minimum clothing rule.
Wait, you know what you might want to check though is if I don't know what type of work environment. Do you like the cold or the warm environment?
I prefer cold.
Okay, so you might want to ask Rhett. He might be like, I'm a hot guy. He's always gonna walk in with sweaters because he's always wearing sweaters all the time.
I know.
He's just gonna be like, you're gonna be in flip flops and a short, and Rhett's gonna be in like a beanie, big old jacket.
Yeah, no, my standard dress attire here is flip flops and shorts and 62 degrees. Like that's where I like it.
Oh gosh, 62. That is way too cold. Oh my gosh.
We keep most of the house at 67. I turn the thermostat in here a little lower.
Okay, yeah, 67. I do my house at 68. So okay, that's fine. 68 I like. My wife does like turns it to 70. I walk in the house, I'm like, it is hot in here.
Yeah.
I cannot stand it. I like 69 is pushing it. It's I don't, even when it said that, I turn it off. 68, 67 is right about perfect.
Yep.
62, that's cold.
All right, let's go ahead and move on. I need the sensor bar generator from Futurama. Let's go ahead and move on. I don't really have a slide for this. I think I put one in the YouTube notes, but they're not in the official show notes that we've got. So if you wanted to take a quick look at that, it's more just for reference. There was a little bit I'm going to discuss an issue today with the current generation offering of low-end video cards. I will just acknowledge there was a bit of a back and forth on Twitter between a couple of personalities. I just want to say I am in no way adding fuel to that fire. I am in no way commenting on that. I know everyone involved. They're all great people. Whatever. Anyway, I'm here to talk specifically about the video cards, and the 2 points of view that were had are pretty... I can see where both are coming from. One point of view, and again, I'm not going to name any names, but basically one point of view on the RX 6500 XT and the RTX 3050 from nVidia, which are both officially out now for $199 and $249 at MSRP. Good luck. One point of view, and this is from a lot of the big review sites, they're tired of nVidia and AMD profiteering off of the current GPU situation. Which I get. I totally get. I totally understand it. The free market being what it is, though, they're allowed to charge whatever they want, and they can set an MSRP, but if you set an MSRP for $199, and I'm just going to use the retail price here, I'm not going to say, oh, they're selling them to resellers for X. If they say MSRP is $199, and then a reseller turns around and says, well, I'll give you $240 for them so I can get them in stock, you're probably going to take that as a business, are you not? Like, I'm in business for myself. If someone offers me more for the same product that I'm offering, I'm probably going to go with them. And that's how short the market is right now as far as graphics cards are. Now, AMD and nVidia themselves may be selling it directly to distributors, board partners, etc. At, you know, and at the price where they could sell it at MSRP. But if you're a board partner and you have an opportunity to sell it for more than what you might otherwise be able to sell it for, speaking as a business, you'd be stupid not to do that.
Yeah.
If I have... I mean, I sell ads for my channel. I you know, most videos are sponsored by someone. I sell ads on my channel. If someone offers me $800 for an ad, cool. That's really good money. If another party comes along and says, hey, we want to buy ads on your channel, do you have room for us this month? And I say, no, I don't. Well, what's your rate? And they say, oh, $1,500. Sorry, I'm going to bump the other one because that's just good business sense. And so I can't hold AMD or NVIDIA or board partners or resellers or distributors or retail chains. I have a really hard time saying you can't profit off of, market demand. It's kind of why they're in business, is to profit off products that they sell. Flipping this story around. The other party involved said, you know what? The 6500 is not a bad deal right now. When is the last time we had a graphics card that was available for $200? That was a 1080p gaming card.
Yeah.
It's been a while. You can't even get a used RX 580 for $200 right now. And yeah, the 6500 performs about as well as a 4 gig RX 580. It's definitely more power efficient than an RX 580. But at $200, if you can get it at MSRP, given the current market situation, I don't see that as a bad deal. Now, I can be angry at nVidia and AMD all day long for the graphics cards releasing at the same price performance level for 3 straight generations. Like, the RX 580 when it debuted was $259. We've gone down $60 in 4 years, almost 5 years. 4 years, I think, for the RX 580.
Yeah.
Like, the graphics card itself is not a great deal, but at the same time, it's kind of the only thing available right now. And I'm looking over at the RTX 3050. It's kind of the same situation. Now, the RTX 3050 is a better deal, but it's also $50 more expensive. If you are on a tight budget and you only have $200 to spend on a graphics card, your de facto answer right now is the 6500 XT. If you can spring some more money, I would absolutely recommend getting the RTX 3050. It's a better deal all around. It has double the memory. It does ray tracing at a reasonable rate. It's around as powerful as a 1660 Ti, which was a more expensive graphics card last generation. Like, it's kind of hard to fault that one at all. Now, the problem is, both those graphics cards, we know they're not going to sell for $199 and $249. We know they're going to sell for $320 and $380.
Yeah.
Or $400.
Yeah.
If they're the only cards available, and you don't have a graphics card right now, like, it's kind of hard for me to sit here, arms full of graphics cards, going, that's a terrible deal. Like, you should just wait a little bit longer. Really?
Yeah, that's not, no. Yeah, well, that, I don't know, that's hard because especially the market right now is everything's so high, and then you're just like, okay, it's $400. Although, I guess to your point though, it is interesting, before the whole 30 series and everything 2 years ago or something, 2+ years ago, when they were starting to come out, graphics cards were about that. Yeah, were about that much. Mm-hmm. You know, so technically, I mean, that was one of the big things we were always psyched out about the 30 series was the bang for buck. You know, it was a lower price and better graphics, or, you know, better powerful, more powerful cards. And then the RTX has come out, same thing, same concept. But really now with the whole demand, and they're just nowhere to be found. Mm-hmm. They're roughly the same price as the equivalency of what the most powerful cards were 3 years ago before they came out. Right. And so you kind of are, but we were at that time also saying graphics cards were at a ridiculous high price. Right.
This has also been an issue that I started to touch on a year or so ago, and that is that the price of graphics cards in general has exploded. And I'm not just talking about, the RTX 3090 is $2,800 today. Well, I kind of am, actually, because remember when the GTX 1080 came out? And it was a ridiculously powerful card? It was their flagship card. $599. That was retail price.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Yep. Yeah.
You could get a 1060 for $230, I want to say, for the 3 gig. 1050 Ti was $140 MSRP when it was announced. $140 for a 1050 Ti 4 gig card. Since that time, and really even going back a generation before that, where a 980 was $399. You know, we're talking their flagship card, not including the 980 Ti, which came out 9 months later, but the GTX 980 was their flagship card. Sold for $399 at retail. Right now, that gets you the second tier card. That's not the 3050, but the 3060 is sitting there at, you know, $350, $370, I think, MSRP on it.
Yeah.
That's their 60 series card. And so what NVIDIA and AMD, I'm not just singling out NVIDIA here, what they've both been kind of doing is seeing what the market will bear and scaling up appropriately. And what they found is people are willing to spend $600 on a graphics card. Well, the next generation, or let's bring out a 980 or a 1080 Ti and a Titan X Pascal. We'll price those at $1,000 and $1,200. We'll see if anyone bites. You know what? They did. So let's circle the wagons again. Let's do an RTX 2080. Let's price this at $700 to start.
Yeah, or yeah, whatever.
And suddenly it's $1,300 and $1,500 for the Titan, RTX Titan, and the 2080 Ti. They went, you know what? I think there's room there. Tell you what, let's price the 3080 at $1,000 and the 3090 at $1,500. Guess what? People still bought them. So the inflation of the upper end of their market has also led to inflation at the lower end of the market, because they're not going to price a 3080 at $1,000 and produce a 3060 at $230.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's stupid. Yeah, exactly. But it's hard because it is disappointing that it's not just them though too, because there are, like you were saying earlier on, was people are just going into these stores and buying them up and marking the prices up,
right?
Because of the limited supplies. But then what is the store also supposed to do? They'll start marking their prices up, trying to combat those people, but then everything is just starts stacking up, and people will just are so graphics card hungry because the times that we're living in, these games and video editing and whatnot and coding is coming out. We want higher compression and whatnot, you know, higher 4K frame rates. We have ray tracing, and these cards handle it better. The older generation doesn't quite handle it better, so they're forced to spend the money to go out and buy these, and then from scalpers, which then justify the scalping for the scalpers.
One thing I'll also say, I think this problem is a lot less about the scalpers that are going to stores and buying 30 of them. The problem is the graphics cards aren't making it to Best Buy and Micro Center and all the retailers around. The problem is there are people in the middle of the distribution chain that are buying massive quantities of them and either sending them to the mines or putting them up on eBay and OfferUp and Facebook Market and everything else. You can find graphics cards on, you know, direct sales websites.
Yeah.
They're all insanely marked up, but that's because Best Buy doesn't get any stock. And when they do, those are all spoken for and bought out months in advance by individuals who are trying to get something. So I think the scalpers,
I guess what I was
I don't think that's where the problem lies.
I guess when I was trying to say scalpers,
that's just the most visible to us.
Yeah, but I also meant the middleman, because to me that is a kind of a form of scalping. I mean, they're basically
it totally is, right.
They're just totally going in and ranking it as much as they can, and then they're marking the price up.
Right.
And to me, that's just a bigger form of scalping.
Right.
And you know,
but at the same time, if you're a distributor who sells graphics cards to Best Buy or Costco or whoever, if you're a distributor and Best Buy has an agreement to buy the graphics cards at $180 a pop, and you get an offer for $220 a pop, guess what? You're going to sell them at $220 a pop because you don't care about gamers. You're in this distribution business to make money.
Yeah.
And so, again, it's kind of hard to fault that, even though it angers me so that those cards will never make it into the hands of anyone at the $199 advertised price point.
Yeah, I mean, if I had at the tap room a keg of beer that for some reason was the greatest keg of beer, you know, the original Great Notion, and then all the other batches for some reason went bad, and I had the only one, I'm not going to sell it at the standard rate.
Right.
You know, it's like that would be stupid of me. I could.
Yeah.
It's also very stupid of me to be like, because it's in such high demand, is that a jerk move? Kind of, yes.
Yeah, but you're also in the business of getting kegs of beer, so people can drink kegs
of beer, and I need my business to succeed, and I want this, and so I need that income to continue. Yeah, you know. But then I guess at the same time, there is technically, I would say, if there's a level of it being too much to where like, oh, I have the money to buy it all.
Right.
It's, you know, and then I'm going to screw everyone over. Then everyone, that's the monopoly.
Yeah, but now you're playing Monopoly, right?
Now I'm playing. Yes, exactly. That's the super jerk move.
I own all the gardens in Boardwalk.
Yes. I've had hotels on Madison Avenue, Broadway. Yes.
Yeah. Novella Hub, $5 donation. Thank you very much, Mr. Hub. Will you post a video on the channel next for an alarm when the fridge is open? Asking for Rhett. You know what I might do is set up a camera that automatically tweets whenever the door opens. That'd be a fun one.
Yeah, but... Or like have a weight scale of like, you've just lost 12 pounds of liquid fluid today.
I weigh him as he comes in and as he goes out.
Brett's sitting there like, I gotta pee.
American Cosworth, $5. Just an FYI, 12 gigabyte Tesla M40s are going for as little as $132 on eBay. Fantastic deal for the enthusiast who needs about a 1070 level card, or maybe a little bit more video memory. But again, it's not for the everyman gamer.
No.
This is not going to solve your entry-level PC problems. This is not going to replace a $200 graphics card, because where do I plug a monitor in? You don't. I don't know the first thing about Linux. Well, you're screwed. How's this, GPU-P thing work? Like, there are ways to use that graphics card, and for $132, it's a freaking phenomenal deal. I mean, I use a Tesla M60, which is the dual GPU version of the GTX 980. Dual 8GB graphics cards on a single PCB. One of those is my dedicated video editors. It runs a VM that Rhett remotes into, and he edits video from his house. So
well, actually, I was thinking about picking one of these up for my editing.
Honestly, it's not a terrible deal.
No, I know. I was like, I could probably use this for my editing, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good deal.
You'd still probably need to run it through virtualization to make it really effective. Although if you're just using it for editing, that'll get you the NVENC encoding and everything else. If you
that's kind of because I wouldn't be gaming on that system.
No, you have the Tesla M5000, right? Or the Quadro M5000?
No, the Quadro.
Yeah, Quadro. That's what I meant. Yeah, the Quadro M5000. This is essentially the same encoder. So
yeah,
it wouldn't.
I don't think it's 12 gigs.
It's only 4 gig, but
yeah.
I don't think more memory would actually do your workflow. We'd have to see what your workflow actually is.
Yeah, it only gets really clogged down if I start doing a lot of like, not B-roll, but just essentially I have to do layers of editing.
Yeah, and
then it starts clogged down. Yeah, that's like one video a month, if that. Not even that. Like one video every 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
So
and
it's bearable.
Yeah, I mean $130, but you've also got to find a cooling solution for it.
Yes.
Which, I mean, I know a guy
And
who jury-rigged one together, and it works pretty freaking well. I mean, that jury-rigged cooling system for the M60 is what's running in my server and what is the backbone of my video editing right now. So I will say it works, and it works quite well. But the M40 is not for everyone. It's not a buy the video card, pop it into a computer, plug a monitor in, and you're off to the races. It's a set up a virtualization rig and do a pass-through, and I'm gaming off a Parsec machine, which means I have a remote client of some kind, and blah, 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 blah. Like, it's not a plug-and-play solution. Let's see. Mr. Hayden Jr., $5 donation. Thank you very much. 2 months before COVID attacked GPUs, a Titan XP was $300. Now it's over $1,000 again. I will say, if you're diligent, you can sometimes find some deals on graphics cards. I myself, during the midst of all this, purchased cash money 3 Titan X Pascals for $1,000 in total. One of them I only paid $300 for. And so the deals are out there. You just have to be hunting, and you have to find them. Yeah. I'm still not saying it's a great situation, but that's how I was able to do my 12 gamer 1 CPU rig when I finally got it done. That was done with Titan X Pascals, and let me tell you, no sponsor paid for those cards.
Yeah.
So
yeah, no, I mean, you just have to be diligent about it. It's not like you were saying, walk into Best Buy.
Yeah,
that's the thing. It is not the typical what we're used to pre-COVID stuff of like, hey, I want to go computer shopping. Oh, I'm out for a TV. Oh, there's a graphics card right there. Yeah, I'm gonna get it. It's not that. It's not that impulse buy anymore.
Right.
It is. You have to go searching around. You might have to spend 3 months probably diligently like looking and joining some boards of like, hey, I'm going to notify you when these are out.
Yep.
Type of a thing.
Yep. Denver sends over $5. Thank you very much. Been fun, guys. Got to go to bed. Wanted to say if the Nanos were really just for developers, then the 2GB nVidia Shield TV would cost the same as the 2GB Nano. I'm actually not sure what the 2GB Shield costs, so you'll have to forgive me on that. But dev platforms cost more than retail platforms. They have more in them. There's more headers. There's GPIO access. There's a lot of other things that are locked down for final retail products. So, agree to disagree. Tech Geek sends over $10. Thank you very much, Tech Geek. Gotta run because work. Loser. No. Sucker. Keep up the great work and the great content, even if it's the worst waste of time some people have seen in their lives. That's right.
Yeah, he hasn't watched Hops and Brews yet.
WSV, this show goes out to you wherever you are tonight.
How is your curious? How did the shoot treat you?
It was quite good.
Good.
It's also quite empty. Yeah, that was.
What was it called again?
Symphonic Chronic.
Symphonic Chronic.
Yeah,
I might have to look for that.
It is 7.2%. Melodious mashup, mixing West Coast kettle hopping with East Coast dry hopping. Biotransforming hop aroma and flavor into a bright, skunky tropical symphony. Like I said, the hops were very much on the nose. Like I said, dank, skunky. I think those are fantastic denotions for that. But
Lupomax, yeah. Cool.
Flavor-wise, kind of a lightly hopped lemonade. Like I said, there was some...
Here's the description.
Okay.
This is the end of it. Creating a new take on the classic West Coast IPA.
Well, there you go.
That is the final line of their beer. So, a symphonic of dank and tropical tones, creating a new take on the classic West Coast IPA.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. I think that is the new West Coast IPA style now is they're going for not necessarily New England, but they're using more of the Citra, Cascade, Mosaic to get the citrusy notes out.
Yeah.
And they're balancing that with malt, and that's the new West Coast.
Yeah. Well, like they said, they're kettle hopping, which is usually how we get our West Coast sours. And then East Coast dry hopping, which is how they pretend to do fresh hopping like we do over here.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting beer. I really liked it.
I'll have to pick one up.
Yeah. I think this is only available in their 12-pack. That's how they get you. That's how they get you.
That is how they get you.
I mean, although I bought the 12-pack.
I know. I was gonna say I'd still buy the 12-pack. It's still good stuff.
Right.
I still want to find. So they came out with that non-alcoholic Black Butte Porter.
Yeah.
I want to go. I would really want to go try that one, because for like, you know, you, myself, and Steve, we're always like, oh, what's the first craft beer and that got you into craft beer?
Black Butte Porter's right up there.
Black Butte Porter is right up there. Like, this is like 1, 2, or 3 for all of us. Like, oh yeah, it was like Black Butte Porter because like I tried that and that was so different. That's usually what gets people.
Yep.
So I would love to try the non-alcoholic version.
Yeah. No,
of that.
You posted that was released, and I'm very intrigued by that one.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even mind having that if it's decent. As like,
yeah,
I'll keep a pack of that in my fridge. I have no problem with that.
Yep. Anyway, you teased that we're gonna do some dueling stouts.
Oh yes, I did.
So, what do you got?
I do have. So, as I said, I went to the store today and I wanted a stout. I've been craving stouts. I don't know what it is.
Until you've been craving stouts.
I'm just kind of IPA burnt, even though I just had an IPA.
Yeah.
But I think it's more of like not dry January. I'm just like, oh, I'll cut back even more so than usual. And then for nighttime, instead of like having a cocktail or something, just kind of want a bigger, meatier stout or drink. And so I always want a stout, but all the stouts I have are these big collector's ones. Yeah. So I went to the store, I was searching around and everything, and $10 here, $12 there. I was like, that's just, I don't want to spend that much because I can go buy 2 or 3 of something.
Right.
And then I just came upon an old classic, and that is just our favorite.
Oh yeah,
Santiam Pirate Stout. And I was like, I cannot pass this up. I just have so much fond memories. In fact, I was going by Oscar Blues and they were like, Death by Coconut. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. And then I saw this, like, nope, this is my coconut beer. So Santiam's Pirate Stout.
Rum barrel aged coconut stout. Oh, so good. Such a good stout. Much like you, I went to the store a week or 2 ago, and I was out of a lot of my standards, and so I grabbed a single 12-pack. I grabbed a 12-pack. I think I bought the Hop Valley Cryo 12-pack.
Oh yeah, I'll buy that.
Great one to get. While I'm walking through, apparently my local store got in or decided to release out of their cellar a pretty substantial collection of rare beers. So what started out as a 12-pack and a bag of chips wound up being $258.
I've had those grocery store trips, so I know that.
Yep. They had everything. They had that's where I got the 2019 Abyss bottle at. I got gosh, I'm forgetting most of the beers. I bought 6 bottles of 2021 Bourbon County Stout.
Yay.
I got 6 bottles because they had them. They had 12 on the shelf, so I took half. They had a number of other big rare beers, and I'm like, one of those and one of those. I'm just walking down the aisle with my cart, just doing that. One of the beers, one of the beers that I happened to pick up is the first time I've seen this beer for sale on this half of the continent.
Okay, now I'm intrigued.
This is a beer that I've only ever received in beer mail. Now I've received, I think, 3 different variants of it. This is the most recent variant of it from Lewitt Brewing.
Oh,
War Tortoise 2021 barrel aged.
ooh, that is a rare find. I will
Yes.
admit that is a rare find.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a good beer. I think that's what, like 11 or 12%.
This one's actually only 9.8. It's
Okay.
not
For some
huge.
Yeah, for some reason I remember War Tortoise because I've had
Yeah.
it's either 19 or 18.
Yeah.
I actually have. I think I might even have an original Lewitt. So, funny story about Lewitt. They had a IPA called the Shadow Shinobi or Shadow Ninja IPA.
Mhm.
And I love the artwork. It was so cool. It was so special. This was back when they were just a little brewery in a garage. Steve and I even like sought after it. And yeah, no, War Tortoise bourbon barrel aged is no joke.
No, I've had War Tortoise before. This one.
Oh yeah. But during
wonderful.
the taproom days, I had them, and I ended up getting like the only keg for their triple Shadow Shinobi, the triple barrel IPA version.
Okay. Yep.
And I have still a T-shirt that says Shadow Ninja IPA,
Mm-hmm.
and they got sued for it, and so they had to change their name. So I have an original Lewitt Shadow IPA T-shirt.
Nice.
So I was like, and it's actually one of the more comfortable T-shirts too. It's one of those like cotton and latex blends.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It stretches out, and it's like, oh,
stretches
so
but super soft. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
One of those. It's like, oh, this is good quality.
That's all I
stuff.
wear.
Yeah, I know, it's great stuff. Also, funny thing is, I got to meet the graphic artist who designed all the War Tortoise.
Oh, nice.
And everything. He came to the bar, and he also designed Vagabond's Attack Owl IPA cover. Same guy. So
nice.
I think I did a. Oh no, I didn't do a video. I did a Photoshop job. That's what I did.
Yeah.
Okay. He liked the Photoshop job.
All right. I can't get over that aroma.
No, it's
that
a
is
good beer.
magically good.
It is a good beer. I know. Even at the bottle room place I was at, the one. There was just, I was holding it in my hand. I was like, do I buy this? Do I buy? And I still walked away with $40 worth of beer.
Right.
Individual bottles, and it's like, and I bought the $2 to $5 bottle range. I was like,
yeah.
And I'm holding a bottle that's $40 just in my hand. I was like, I could buy a week's worth of beer with this one price.
Or this one bottle.
Or I buy this one bottle that I won't drink. But I need it for my collection.
Right.
So
I have to get back. 2 so I can drink one and then keep the other one in the collection.
That's the thing is so it's like, okay, I'll just wait a week and I'll tell my wife, oh, it came out now. I have to buy it now. Last week was for me. Yeah. This is for my collection.
Yeah. No, this one's for the channel.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna make a video on this, and I'll make a couple bucks at the end of the month. It'll make it all back. It's fine. Right.
Starting to feel like your YouTube channel is just a big pyramid scheme.
Oh, it is. It totally is. Pay me to drink beer so I can buy beer, please. Isn't that what your channel is?
It's pretty much what my channel is.
Pay me to do tech stuff and drink beer.
Right. I do want to get to a super chat really quick, but then I'm going to circle back to that. Zachary sends over $50. Thank you very much, Zach. Dang. And this is more of a question for John, because I am definitely not the programmer, but it's a very interesting question. Is it's nerf or nothing a combinational logic statement or an indication that nerf is not null? If it's combinational logic, can you use other logic operands, such as nerf and nothing? Does it evaluate to true with nerf equals nothing, or does it fail?
You're going way too far with this. What is nerf defined as? No.
Right. Nerf is just a pointer for another value. I mean, we're gonna.
I know, yeah, exactly. So you have to define, because Nerf could technically be null, because it could be null or nothing, or it could be null and quotation mark. So really, we could define whatever we want here, and you could be true or false. So depending upon.
Yeah. Anyway, I had something. I had something funny I wanted to say. What were we talking about before the super chat?
Okay, what were we talking about? I said beer. More beer.
More beer.
I was talking about, so people pay you to just build computers and drink beer.
Oh yeah. I got to thinking, because I think it was my niece asked me what I do. Like, I know you're a YouTuber, but what do you do? And that's a really hard question to answer, because what you see is not what I do. But what you see is also not how I make money. Like, it's totally weird. Because, like, 65% of my revenue probably comes from ad sales and getting those sponsorships. You know, today's video is brought to you by... It's getting those. And I only get those because I make content that you guys want to watch. And yeah, YouTube gets me a cut, and I get a cut from Amazon and eBay and a couple other affiliate programs that I have and whatnot. But my job is to make videos so people will like me, so I can sell ads to people who watch my videos.
Yeah. But how do you explain that?
Right. But none of those go into, like, why I do what I do. Like, it's this weird... She asked, and I was thinking about it, and like, I don't know. Like, I know how I make money, and I know what I do, but those are in no ways related to each other.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what I do allows me to make money, but it's not that I make this video and I get paid. It's that people watch the video, and people who want to present their things to those watching will pay me money to make that video, but they don't care about the video, and the people watching don't care about the ads.
No. But the people that...
But the video has to be good so people continue watching.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I know. Well, yeah. Essentially, you should just start telling her, instead of I do YouTube, is I have my own TV show. Mm-hmm. It's like, I mean, that is what the internet basically is. Everyone got their potentially their own TV show, especially now with cell phones and everything. You can make your own TV show. Everyone's always talking about, I remember like the Family Guy episode where Peter has the soundtracked people walking with him throughout his whole life, or the TV where the cable broke and he's got to walk around with TV.
Yeah.
And his life is a TV episode.
That was an early episode. Wow.
That was an early.
That was like episode 4.
But
that's back when death was still in the names of every episode.
That was great. Death was awesome.
Love you, Norm.
But yeah, with modern technology, a lot of YouTube stuff or TikTok, Twitter, all the other streaming services that are out there, you can essentially make your life or a subject you enjoy or knowledgeable about, right. A TV show. Essentially, that's what it is. And then ads can then, or companies can pay you for ads. What is a commercial? And blah, blah, blah.
I essentially run my own small television studio. I mean, if you really want to think about it.
If you really want to think about the dumbest down point.
And I throw it onto public broadcasting. And I happen to have sponsors that are based around my content. And that's it.
That's it. That is what YouTube and all of the channels that are on there are just the infinite number of public broadcasting.
Right. Yeah. But no, it's weird trying to explain to people. Like, I don't even say I do YouTube anymore. Like, that was a short-lived explanation for what I do. Like, I was really excited for 6 months until everyone asked me what I did and I had to explain it. And it's like, that's not interesting. So anymore, I just say I make educational videos, or I make
Tutorials.
tutorials. I work in advertising. I mean, that's more akin to what I do. So,
well, I was trying to explain to my wife what Discord and well, not Discord, but like what Patreon is, and she's like, and then what benefits like creators can use it. And she's like, that's so stupid. But I was like, but you don't get it. It's like the community. It's like, imagine watching your favorite creator of X TV show, and if it was only cost $1, cost you $1 a month for a subscription to where you could then talk to that person directly, wouldn't you take that? You know,
right?
And like that's that. But then at the same time, that is revenue in your hands, and so you have to have that work to where you have to respond to that. You're always on that. I mean, you could be like, you know, one of the bigger creators or something and have their own Discord or Patreon and be like, you're never on it, and you know everyone tags you. But no, for you and the other mods too, whatever. When someone tags us, we take the time and effort and we scan the channel. You know, we respond back to you because that you paid for that perk. We're going to give you that perk. And that's work, right? You know, we're not just sitting around. And so, but the best part is because we do that, and that community that we've grown in that Patreon is worth joining. So it's only $1 a month to join. I
was like, get to the segue, awesome John. Come on.
I know. I was like, come on. I had something building that wasn't getting there.
I know.
But join the Patreon. It's only $1 a month minimum. You can donate more if you like this content. Maybe you want to sit there and tell us all off and say it's the worst content you've ever seen. Why would you ever do that? Well, you know what? It only costs you $1 a month to tell us off in person, or at least not in person, but directly to us. We'll probably ban you right away, but you know, so we'll take your $1, whatever. But it's an awesome community. It's not just tech. That's the thing. It is a community. There is trade. There is cars. There is tutorials of how to do stuff. There's food and beverage. There's a whole joke section. There is a whole private chat just for this show where you can, if your chat gets lost in the main YouTube page, we see the main one over here for the Patreons. And we get to see that one, you know, and we get to joke with other. There are other YouTube creators that probably spend more time in our Discord.
There are people telling me right now on the Discord chat that this is the worst content they've ever seen.
Exactly. So come on, join it for $1 a month, if not more. It's just a minimum. It's awesome. I guarantee you, for that $1, you would not be disappointed for at least 1 month.
Yep. I don't want to push it that much harder, but I will say Patreon has become a main dollar maker for the channel. Like, I make more on Patreon than I do on YouTube. YouTube AdSense, it is not the majority of my income. It's not even close. I make more on Patreon than I do YouTube, Amazon, eBay. Patreon's like number 2 to ad revenue, like sponsored ad revenue. And it allows me to do some of the more off-the-wall projects. Like, hold on here. Hold on. So remember how I said it's a little disingenuous for me to sit here and say, like, with my pile of graphics cards, you guys shouldn't buy the RX 50 or 6500 because, like, it's just you should just wait. Like, you guys should really just wait and buy that graphics card, or not buy that graphics card, because, you know. Yeah. That's going to be a fun video. Yeah. That one I'm pretty sure I'm going to call the meme machine. That's going to be the meme machine. That video is going to be 1,000 threads in a single chassis.
Oh my god.
1,000 CPU threads in one chassis.
Oh, how many jokes are in that script, Jeff?
I don't know. Yeah, Rhett's not done writing it for me yet.
Rhett's going through it, and he's going. Well, actually, the funny thing is, Rhett actually knows quite a few like local comedians too.
Right.
And so he's probably going like, hey man, is this funny? Is this funny? Is this funny? And they're probably going back to, I don't know a damn thing about tech, right? Shut up.
Right.
All I know is Morrowind sucks.
Right.
And the Matrix 4 sucked.
Yeah. But yeah, the Patreon is the reason I can do some of these weird off-the-wall projects with, 2013 Xeon Phi processors that were a commercial failure, but also powered some of the world's most powerful supercomputers for a good number of years. Like, these were in the world record-setting supercomputer, I think, for 5 straight years before it was broken. Like, there's some power here.
Again, too, if people were talking about, like, where's content, and earlier on, the very beginning of the show, I was saying, if you want to join the Patreon, like the gaming rig, the setup that you did of all the videos, well, there was content of the struggles you had with that in the Discord.
Oh, don't even get me started on my retro rig.
Yeah, but so if you want to see extra content, it's behind the scene features. But again, it's not just that.
So John, go ahead and keep talking. I'm gonna you're not on the screen right now, but I'm gonna give people a very brief sneak preview of my retro rocket gaming rig. Okay?
But yeah, no, great.
You ready for this?
But
hold on.
Hold on.
There it is.
Oh yeah, millennial baby. Oh, I wasn't even in high school. But if it's still all the wavy graphics. I'm sorry, I can't continue because this is so awesome. The graphics. Oh, I think I just had a special moment there.
You okay, John?
That sound.
You okay?
Sound.
Take you back.
Oh,
right.
Oh yeah.
Whew.
Good thing you don't have my crotch anymore.
Right.
I'm not wearing pants. No, but that's sick. That's awesome. And that's, if I remember correctly, you're saying all original, not original parts, but like upgradable parts on original.
Kinda. This is what's
like
called a retro rocket, where it's a modern or new hardware running old operating systems.
Yeah, so it's like, I was gonna say like those old sports cars or classic cars.
Yeah,
they take the body and everything, but the engine's better.
Right. It's a retro mod.
Yeah.
And so instead of a retrofit or a rebuild, it's a retro mod. And so where I didn't go and source like an original Pentium 3. Wait, hold on.
Well, even though he has one.
Sorry, I did source some original unused Pentium 3s. This is a 933 Pentium 3. But who wants to run a case that big? Now, I do have a board that'll run 2 of these. So that might be for another project for another day.
Yeah.
But I didn't want a retro gaming rig that was this massive tower. I wanted, like I tried to build in my last retro video, a small, compact, silent computer that would run Windows 98 natively. I finally got it working today. Everything works.
Ooh.
Everything works.
Nice. Actually, the one thing we don't pip out too much is likes and subscribes. Hit that, because honestly, right now for this video, we're always talking about, we want to get the YouTube revenue up. Like Jeff was saying, it's
Windows Millennium.
Yeah, who doesn't want that? So like it. Come on, there's 114 people watching. We got 47 likes. That means more than half of you haven't hit that button before. But so go ahead and hit that. If you're watching after the show, hit that subscribe button too. We got some other news we could start talking about.
Let's get into that.
What do you want to hit for us? Because we got a little bit of both.
I think we got to talk about the whiskey news.
Okay,
we got to talk about this.
It was a light news, and then I found this, and I was like, "Oh, we got to talk."
We got to talk about this one.
Yeah, and so the world.
So hold on.
Okay.
So John, how many bottles of whiskey do you have in your house?
Okay, so yeah, that's a good point. I was talking about this to my brother. I probably only have. It's under 20. It's under 20.
Right.
Like 15 to 18.
That's around what I have. I have
You probably have more than I do, actually.
Actually, right now I'm sitting. My total bar is definitely bigger. I have a wider variety of spirits, but as far as like whiskey, I usually sit about 15 to 20. I have a 45 bottle bar, is usually around what I carry. And actually, as of late, I'm a little light on that. I'm not quite at 45 anymore. But yeah, 15, 20 bottles. It's a pretty decent collection, ranging from Scotch to Irish to bourbon to rye to American whiskey, a couple Canadians. Like, it's a good... I
have Canadian, I have Japanese,
It's a good mix, right? I'm pretty proud of my home bar. Well, it kind of pales in comparison to the 9,000 bottles in the world's largest collection of whiskey that just sold for just over $4.5 million.
Yep. Private. World's largest private collection.
Yeah, private collection. Actually, one of the world's largest non-private collections is up in Seattle, and we were planning on going there right before the pandemic hit. We were starting to talk to the owner to do an interview.
We were. Because he was taking interviews too.
Yeah.
So,
more content that Corona killed.
Yes, exactly. More road trips and stuff.
We had so many good trips planned.
We did. It sucked. But $4.5 million. And so this guy accumulated all of these whiskeys actually within a 10-year span. So if you think about it, that's actually not super long. 9,000 bottles within 10 years.
Right.
Is a lot, actually.
Right.
You know, that's, what is that? 90 bottles a year, and some of these bottles are worth thousands of dollars.
Right.
I don't know what this guy does for a living.
900 bottles a year.
Or 900 bottles a year. So, sorry. What does this guy do?
Obviously better than me.
Yeah, I know. I mean, so he has over like 150 Scottish distilleries and everything. The guy who bought this wants to be named anonymous.
Mm-hmm. As would I have enough friends contacting me.
So 600 American whiskeys. Just gosh, a lot of stuff. I would have loved, unfortunately, I couldn't find like an inventory. That was one thing I was looking for. If there was an article with all of his inventory, to see if there's anything super special in it. I think the photos in this article are probably just stock stuff. I don't think any of it are his. But if you want to get a couple $1 million,
John, I'll go halves on it with you.
Yeah, you know, well,
I mean, it'll live at my house, but.
Oh, okay. Well, my point was, you know, if we just want to spend the next 10 years buying bourbons and whiskeys, you know, it's a $4.5 million investment. We'll make money. It's just a 10-year investment. We just start buying liquor for the next 10 years. We get 9,000 bottles of stuff, and we'll make $4.5 million. Boom.
There you go.
Easy money.
Something tells me a good number of the bottles in this collection I couldn't afford right now. Like one of them.
It's for it. Just think about it, like for your son. Like
I bet you there's a couple in there that cost more than my cars combined.
Oh, I know. That's what I was wondering. With like, how much does this guy make when he's spending all this money? Although, sorry, 15 years. It was a 15-year adventure. So sorry, I was off.
By the way, if you're on the Patreon, tune into the after party because the WSV, the biggest hater in the world, the story goes on. So right before the show started, I replied to a comment that he had sent me 3 days ago, where he commented like, "I'll watch you set up a Synology NAS every day of the week." I've never set up a Synology NAS. I don't know what channel he thinks I am, but that's not me. I do True NAS and like server stuff. Like Synology is great, don't get me wrong, but I don't do Synology. So I said, you really are going to sit here and complain about free content not being exactly what you want it to be. I subscribe to Disney Plus, but only watch The Mandalorian. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. That was my reply. I thought that would get rid of him. it did not. I'm going to read that on the after party. So if you are not already on the Patreon, go join the Patreon. It's going to be a good one. Didn't Bite My Bits set up a Synology? Yeah, he's a bit of a noob. I'm kidding.
So then maybe he was still sitting there talking about Jason. Like, I'm so drunk. Craft, Jason.
I found Jason's alt.
The same. The same one. Oh, I don't know if you watched it or not, but I had a great time hanging out at his New Year's stream.
I didn't get a chance to check his out.
Like I didn't do anything like special or anything.
No,
like I went to
we canceled all our plans.
Yeah, so we went to Steve. My son wanted to spend the night at Steve's house. I was like, that was the first time. So I was like, all right, we'll just spend it with Steve and his wife. Yep. So we didn't even like here's 3 bottles of something. Okay, well that's it.
Hey, look at that, 2 new patrons just like that.
All right, yeah, $2. But we did that, and then I think we stayed till like 11 o'clock at their house, or 10:30, 10:45. And I came back here, and I was like, I'm gonna go to bed or just relax. And then Big Spoon was just messaging me, dude, get on the show, get on the show. And Jason is just gone. And then I just do I think it was like a $2 Patreon, chat, the minimum he has. Yeah. And then he goes off on this 10-minute spiel. Yeah, Hops and Brews. He's a really cool dude. It's totally drunk. I was like, all right, I'll give you $5 more. Keep going, Jason.
He was so funny when so I've met Jason twice in person, 2 days apart. So CES 2020, Jason was there. We met him up for drinks on Monday night, and then on Wednesday he also came up and was on this show, was on Talking Heads, the best live show in all of tech YouTube. Definitely worth your time. So it was Steve and I who were on the show, as well as Epos Vox was on that one. Well, we decided, we drink actual beer on the show, and of course we show up and Jason's already got 3 Bud Light oranges in him, and
he's got a water,
right,
glass of water,
right. And so we showed up with some actual craft beer. We started him off with an Arrogant Bastard from Stone.
Oh yes. God, that must have been a big shock for him right there in flavor.
That was fun. That was such a good show.
I have a video coming out, and I know, because I wanted to make an Epos Fox joke, because one of it is it's Bud Light's seltzers, but it's their hard sodas.
So it's basically Sunkissed.
It's Sunkissed soda. It's like,
Sunkissed soda.
I can get an Epos Fox to drink this, and it looks like Sunkissed soda too. It's it's looks like soda.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a 5%.
I haven't watched that one yet, but
I haven't put it.
Okay, I saw your thumbnail for the Bud Light sours. So
yeah, and I don't like doing those videos, but it's just one of those they're slow burners.
Yeah,
it's okay, you have to do those every now and then.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Whatever your excuse is, John. I mean,
yeah,
you do you.
I literally save up all of those. I have a 4-pack of every single one of those, Jeff, that has your name on it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get a Christmas pack, a pumpkin seltzer. Yeah. I got them all saved. They're in the back of my fridge for you. That's part of my storage problem, is all of these crappy beers that are for GF. I got 2 pickle beers waiting for you. I got a spicy. I got a regular. You're lucky you don't have the bourbon barrel aged ones, because I only could get a hold of one of those. What else we got? Some news in. Didn't Tom Cruise make the news recently? Mission Impossible something?
Yes, actually.
Mission Impossible is going to space.
Yes, and in more ways than just on the silver screen. So Tom Cruise is reportedly involved and is set to produce a movie. And they have signed a deal with Axiom to build an orbital studio.
Yep.
Let me repeat that. Tom Cruise has signed a deal to produce a movie with Axiom to build an orbital studio attached to the International Space Station. This will be essentially an inflatable dome that will be a movie set attached to the International Space Station.
Yeah. Well, although, okay, let me ask this. Okay, so if they ever want to do anti-gravity stuff, so the way to film it is you do that airplane ride, right? That's how they did all of Apollo 13.
Or you just ignore physics and you end up with whatever the heck that Sandra Bullock Gravity was.
Yeah, that was
What pisses me off is, didn't that win an Academy Award for special effects? And it was some of the worst visual effects I've ever seen in my life.
Honestly, the only thing I liked about that movie was the
people from the Matrix were going, that's not half bad.
Well, no, it was the lack of sound, because that was the one thing. Like, an explosion would happen or nothing. Like, oh, well, that's actually realistic.
Right.
There's no sound in space, so this is realistic. Mm-hmm. But it was like everything else, not so good. So I would have given them an Academy Award for sound editing. And the guy would just like, I just deleted everything.
Yeah.
I edited it because I deleted it.
Yep.
But I wasn't like the Fast and the Furious. Didn't they go to space last time? I don't remember. Did they do whatever in the whole thing? But I am curious versus the cost of doing a movie with those airplanes and all that fuel or anything, to then I'm betting this would be a pure blue screen, green screen, whatever, how you want to say it. And with the stupid billionaires, trillionaires of the world to be like, oh, I got my own penis-shaped rocket. It's past 9. Okay. How cheap is that? Like, oh, let's just put Jeff Bezos in our movie.
Looks like a giant Johnson.
Yeah. Let's just put Jeff Bezos in our movie for like 30 seconds, or Amazon. This movie's sponsored by Amazon, and then we'll be able to have all of our crew up there.
Yeah.
For 30 days, which it's only going to be one scene then. Let's make this the makeout scene or something like that. Or Tom Cruise has got to hold his breath in Mission Impossible.
Wasn't there
12.
supposed to be a porn filmed in space at one point? Like, I remember reading somewhere that there was a contract signed and then the production company bailed or something like that. But they had actors signed up to go. They had the cleanup crew, cleanup detail on standby. Like it was ready to go into production. And
there are so many adult jokes I could make. You're gonna have to join the Patreon to hear them.
We'll play catch up later.
Yeah. I don't know. I like as much as I do like making fun of the jumping, I do like the idea of the technology being pushed and the cheaper fuel and everything. I really actually do like that aspect. That does bring innovation. We're going to make fun of it for a long, long time, but it could bring innovation. It could do something, but it just being a movie studio, I don't know. I really hope something else comes out of this. I don't know. Whatever. Maybe Tom Cruise is trying to find that alien that dropped all those creatures on the volcano. I don't know. Although, actually, I will say I am looking forward to Top Gun. I like the camera work in that. The new one he does. What else we got? Oh, something I am personally looking forward to, and that link did not work from the description. So.
Yes, I fixed the link. All you have to do is delete the first half of it. You'll see www.dosgaming. There's an amp link on the front of it.
I see it.
I missed it. Anyway,
okay. Yeah.
so yes, coming soon to Steam, February 2022, is a Half-Life 2 fan mod called Half-Life 2 Overcharged. And I will say, I'm kind of excited about this one.
I am too. I watched the trailer.
So this is a complete rework of Half-Life 2 in the Source engine. Rather than being just like a repolish or whatever, this is kind of a reimagining with 50 weapons, as well as more accurate player movement, quality of life enhancements, and so on and so forth.
Extended maps.
Right.
Yeah.
And so this is like a next generation Half-Life reimagined with some modern tech on board.
This is the ultimate fan-made, reimagined, redone Half-Life, essentially.
Right.
That got the okay to go through.
Yeah.
Honestly, go click the link in the description. Check out the trailer. If you are a fan of Half-Life, it's amazing. Steve and I used to do Half-Life and Half-Life 2 like LAN parties all the time. Was right up there with one of the best first.
I have Half-Life on my retro machine.
Yeah, no, oh yeah. I'm the best part of Half-Life, the original, tagging. I loved tagging.
Oh yeah.
Tagging, and there was the alien gun. I don't know, like you'd pet it and it's like spat out the tongue or whatever. Yeah. But I just love the little things that Half-Life did of like he had it, but then he'd pet it. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And there was some just cool, weird detail stuff that they did. But if you watch the trailer, all of that stuff is still there, but it's bumped up in the better graphics. It seems to be smoother, extended, like I said, maps. Yeah. It's the same classic maps you like, but they're like, hey, let's add this extra room here. Let's add this extra room. They made it bigger.
Yeah. I'm still waiting for the full port of Half-Life 2 into the Half-Life Alyx Source 2 engine. That's what I want. Good God.
Yeah.
I've talked about Half-Life Alyx a number of times as a master class in virtual reality immersion. And holy crap. My best virtual reality experience up until Half-Life Alyx was playing one of the original Half-Life 2 VR mods with an Oculus DK2 and the Razer Hydra controllers, which... by controllers, I mean one of them was strapped to my chest to get positional data, and the other one I held out in my hand. Playing just the original City 17, the opening scene where you're, pick up that can, and you walk through the train yard and whatnot, and then you're on the run from the Covenant. And there's that scene where you run around and you have to jump on top of the train. Right? In VR. Simple scene. Like, incredibly complex. But every fiber in your body says don't do it. You're looking down at a moving train.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, okay, back kind of like old school us, back at the tap room, the arcade.
You'll have
upstairs.
To excuse me for just 1 second. I have a little bit of a thing knocking on my door, so I will be right back.
But Jeff's saying is, so back in the day, I had the tap room, and Jeff started the channel. He started a VR arcade above it. And one of the things that we did was we had kind of and that wasn't a horror thing, but he had I think it was a tight wire simulator. And we put a 2x4 on the floor and we had people walk on that while they're doing the tight wire simulator. And they were freaking out just because your brain is telling you you're balancing and you're on this, and you get so immersed into it. And that's the same thing with Half-Life Alyx and everything, and these VR games. You will get so immersed into them. The other one, Arizona Sunshine. I keep telling people, I mean, that's still an early game, but you get so into it and so immersed, you forget you're just in this, 10 by 10 environment of whatever, and you start freaking out over time. All right, so we got A little bit of a couple of chats, super chats. I will save the special Jason one for Jeff. I got Jake Dill, Smode Forever, the one and only Half-Life mod you'll ever need for any other reason, right? Oh, I love my Half-Life mods. Steve and I would do the tagging and the skin mods, and we'd have like Kermit the Frog versus Optimus Prime. It was some of the best mods. I loved Half-Life mods. We got Michael 546, not talking about the new Intel Fab. No, so again, a little bit slower news week today, so we're just enjoy the ride. It's Talking Heads. We get to talk about whatever we want. If there's something specific you want to talk about, again, if you're part of the Discord, we do a whole 2-hour plus after show. There's something we missed, we get to talk about it in there. We're like, hey, we didn't see that this week, whatever. Come join the Discord. We have no problem. You can even submit articles of what you want us to talk about the next following week or the day of, blah, blah, blah. If you're part of the Discord, you get to do that type of stuff. Jeff.
Yo.
Everything good?
Everything's good. So
all right. So you missed a super chat.
Oh, did I? Yes, I see that. So
Okay.
Bite My Bit says noob equals thousands in free hardware. Well, consider the source and who they sent it to. Like
exactly. So
no, so I just had my 4-year-old little bit knocking on my door. Very cute. Ding, 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 ding. And so I went ahead and muted and like, okay, you're supposed to be in bed. But I opened the door and she goes, I need you to stop that. It's annoying me. I said, what? She goes, you're talking. It's too loud. I'm trying to sleep. You're annoying me.
I love 4 or 5-year-olds. They just like tell you what it is. I was like, they don't care.
I said, okay, I will try to be quieter.
I walked in the door from work and I came in to my son in his underwear with a pair of boots on, and not his boots, but my wife's boots. So they're like, up to his thighs. And he's holding his giant foam Link Master Sword and just like pointing it like at me, like ready to go double armed. He's like, I'm a bad guy and you're a good guy and I'm going to kill you and I'm going to get you. And I'm like, yeah, you look like what a bad guy would look like in that outfit. He's like, yes, I do. And he just like stabs me. He's like, you're dead now. Like, all right.
So a couple of years ago, many years ago, I think I only had one kid at the time. I walked into a Goodwill and I found a couple of the Nerf Edge swords, the giant Nerf foam swords.
Oh, yes.
The really high quality ones. They're like $30 a piece. I got them for $2 a piece. I bought 2 of them.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I came out of the store with them and my wife goes, what in the hell do you need those for? And I went, because one day we're going to have more than one kid and they're going to need to defend themselves. We still have those swords and we play with them all the time.
Oh yeah. No, it's well now he's asking me for Darkly.
Hold on one sec. Sorry.
That's fine.
I'll be back. That's
fine. I get it. Oh, I get it. I totally get it. All right. But yeah, it's having I actually get this question asked a few times, is like, oh, having kids is not worth it. Like, honestly, like boy or girl doesn't really matter. Having a kid is one of the best things in my life. And then my wife gets so annoyed. I had a big collection of swords. Still do. And most of them, 99% of them are decorative. I only have like 2 actual swords. But my son loves playing with them now. And then I go and buy him foam swords. But the really odd reason, my son resonates with all the bad guys in video games. Like I introduced him to Final Fantasy VII and he's like, oh, I'm Sephiroth and you're Cloud.
So
and I'm gonna kill you.
So we had one of the best weekends of football I've seen in a long time.
Oh, the LA
with the divisional playoff games.
Yeah, those were some good games.
3 walk-off field goals in an overtime. Like,
oh yeah.
Yes. By the way, Matthew Stafford, if anyone deserves it, God, he deserves
honestly
it.
Here's what I want. I want Chiefs versus LA. As much as I don't want, but I'd like LA to win.
Yeah, I really do.
That's the game I want. I want to see a good
I want to see Bengals LA because it's been so long for both of them.
I think it'd be a great. I think that so the Kansas City
I want
game,
the Bengals to beat the Chiefs. That's what I want to happen.
I think it'll happen, but I think they're going to get spanked. But I'd love to see. I love underdog stories. I love underdog games.
Yeah.
I got my wife liking football just from underdog games.
Yeah.
And now she's just constantly watching football. She's like, I don't care who's not supposed to win. I want that team to win. And every game.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I want Rams versus Bengals. That's the matchup that I want to see, and I want to see LA take it.
I just want to see. I also want to see. I'd like to see LA take it.
Yeah.
I also want to see a good Super Bowl though.
Yes.
I don't want a 20-9. And the 9 came in the fourth quarter at the last 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Type of a thing, like the past couple of games were. I want to see the LA versus or not who was it? It was Kansas City. Who did they just play? Buffalo. Kansas City versus Buffalo. I want that. I wanted that to be the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That would have been a great Super Bowl.
Can I just say overtime rules need changed? Like let's go to college overtime because there's nothing better than college overtime.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, no, I want you got to get the ball twice.
Yeah, but
you got to have a chance. You got to have a chance.
Right. The game is supposed to be about all three facets, offense, defense, special teams. What's great about college overtime is you have to perform in all three assets to win the game. You get offense, defense, special teams all working every possession, period. And it's good. It is so good. Instead of just we're just gonna go sudden death. First goal wins. It's like,
no, I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that.
Right.
It's if you win it, okay, great. But then the other team still gets to try. That's what it needs to be. Although I will say the other rule I really want. I know we're getting onto sports, which is not a big thing on this show.
I brought up the football because. You mentioned that your son always latches on to the bad guys and I want to kill you and things. Every time I watch sports, we will I'll be sitting there watching the TV, got it up on the big screen or whatever else, and little Bit will come in and she loves watching basketball and loves watching football. Doesn't understand a lick of it. but loves watching it with me. And she'll go, which team are you rooting for? And I said, we're the red team this time. Oh, well, I want to go for the blue team.
That's what my son does.
Every time.
Yep.
Every time. Yep.
Oh, no. So my son does.
You like Golden State? Ugh.
Yeah. my son will like, what's your team, Dad? And it's like, this team. Well, I'm going, my son's favorite color is red. So any team that even has red anywhere in the color, it's like, that's my team. Dad, you mean you're going for my team? Right. Yes, of course. Okay, good. Mom, what are you going for? Well, we're gonna beat you. It's so. But then the sad thing is, and this is gonna be controversial, is my son is a huge Tom Brady fan. And not because it's because my wife hates Tom Brady.
Sorry to hear you'll never have grandchildren.
It's not that my wife and in all honesty, I don't hate Tom Brady. And I explain this to my wife of like, because she's like, she hates Tom Brady, like with a passion. And I said, it's like, okay, look, I like rooting for the Blazers. But when Michael Jordan plays the Blazers, I still want to see Michael Jordan play. But I'm rooting for the Blazers. But I like seeing Michael Jordan play.
There was nothing better than Kobe versus Brandon Roy. Like I hate the Lakers with a fiery passion. But at the same time, I want to see Kobe Bryant against Brandon Roy. Like,
exactly.
yeah.
It's just like and then okay, my team's knocked out. Well, I kind of want to see history being made then.
Right. Back before then, like I would go to Blazer games and we'd be watching, you know, the tail end of the Jailblazers and whatnot. So we've got you know, an aging, gosh, even drawing blanks on the name. We've got an aging Rasheed Wallace who we're thinking about trading to Detroit, and we've got
what was it?
Yeah. Anyway, I would go to the Blazer games because the Nuggets are coming to town, and they've got Chauncey Billups and oh gosh,
wasn't a Nugget fan, so didn't know.
He was on the Blazers last year. Good Lord.
Oh God. Oh, I know. He got traded to LA again.
Yeah.
I know who you're talking about. Oh God.
Carmelo Anthony.
Gosh. Yeah, thank you, Carmelo Anthony.
You. Yeah. And so I would go to watch the Blazer games and root for the Blazers, but I also wanted to see the other big names come in and perform. And that was so much fun. Like, and that was one of the games I got to go to, was seeing, you know, the tail end of the Jailblazer era against the up and coming Nuggets and whatnot. Like, that was a great game.
Yeah. I guess, okay, back to the NFL, the you know, the playoffs.
I'm pretty sure we got our asses kicked too.
But yeah. Like, okay, I don't know. Did you see the Buccaneers versus you know, LA? It was like,
of course
okay,
I did. I'm a Lions fan. Of course I'm watching Matthew Stafford in the playoffs for the first time ever.
But at the same time, you're like, holy crap, that's Tom Brady. And Tom Brady did his thing. Now, Tom Brady's defense sucked.
Tom Brady did what Tom Brady does.
Tom Brady he didn't lose.
And then Matthew Stafford went 40 seconds. All right.
I got that. Yeah. You know, but it was Matthew Stafford versus the Buccaneers defense. It wasn't Matthew Stafford versus Tom. It wasn't the LA defense versus Tom Brady.
That game was everything a Lions game ever was. But
then they did it.
Like we have you'll have an amazing offense or an amazing defense, never both at the same time. And you'll have one show up, and then your team will go, you know what? We're up 27-3. We just need to ride this one out.
It's every Seahawks game.
But you forget that Tom Brady's on the other sideline, and he's going, I got this. And you play not to lose instead of playing to win. Like, Matthew Stafford is one of the greatest gunslingers of this generation. And you're handing the ball off to a guy who is 28 carries for 21 yards. It's like, what the hell are you thinking? And then all of a sudden you need Matthew Stafford to show up, and he goes, 3 plays, 80 yards. Pff, got it.
Yeah, here's time. There you go.
Right.
Boom, there you go.
Just run. I'll throw it to you.
Yeah, exactly. But again, so it was amazing. It was 27-3 by halftime, and then it was 27-27.
27-27, like, because
it's Tom Brady.
Right.
And it's like, okay, this is
and you took your foot off his neck.
Yes, exactly. And it's like, you take it's not that I'm like, oh, I'm a big Tom Brady. It's like, but this is why I want to watch those games. Mm-hmm. It's that part is entertaining. And my wife's all like, I still don't like it. It's like, I'm not a Tom Brady fan, but it's like, I want to see Michael Jordan play. I want to see those iconic moments in 10 years from now when everyone's talking about all these new quarterbacks. You're not as good as what's his face. And there's going to be biographies made. And it's like, I watched that game live, or I was there at that game live. You know, it's like, I want to see that.
Right.
I'm at the same time, I kind of do root for that because I want to see that success story. But at the same time, I do want Matthew Stafford again with the LA Rams. I hope they win the Super Bowl.
Right. If anyone deserves it, it's Matthew Stafford after 13 years on the Lions.
Do you want to get through these last two?
I want to get through the second story. I think we're going to brush over the first. Crysis 4 was announced, everyone. Yeah.
I love Crysis 4. Crysis is great.
So this is a story I've been following very close for a very long time, and that is the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Decompilation project. I believe we reported on it about a month ago that the decompilation was complete, as in they had turned all of the decompiled code into human readable C, which means they now have a form of source code for the Ocarina of Time as it relates to all of the system and memory calls that are presented in the Nintendo 64 ROM. Now, that group in particular wasn't exactly aiming for a PC port. They were just looking to know how the game was actually built and everything that goes around it. Well, once you have source code, you have people who do want to see a PC port, which means in February, there will be an Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda, PC port, native, with widescreen and 60 FPS and 1080p and higher support and modern controller support and all of the goodness that you ever wanted to love about Ocarina of Time on a PC near you. Now, this is assuming that you own your own legally obtained Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time US ROM, which I'm assuming all of you do. And you will need to compile your own from source, which means you will need to download the source code project and the associated compiler and then provide your own ROM, and then you will output a Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time executable, which you can run on the PC of your choice. Now, why is this not illegal? Well, decompiling to source is not illegal. As long as it's a clean room operation, as long as you're not working off leaked material or insider information or whatever else, it's perfectly fine to decompile an executable back into a native readable code and then recompile your own, as long as you own the original. So, if you own the original, you may be able to play this on PC. Stop. I'm not going to comment further on that one sentence. If you own the original, very shortly you will be able to play it on PC in native PC format as a native Windows executable or Linux executable or Mac executable or whatever else. As long as you compile your own.
You make it. Essentially, you're making it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Ocarina of Time, awesome. Although, if you are a Zelda fan, Ocarina of Time is right up there with one of the best top 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And then also this coincides with, kind of funny, the Majora's Mask just got released for the Switch too.
Yes. And actually a good number of improvements came to the Nintendo Virtual Console on the Switch, where it doesn't suck donkey whatevers quite as much. The fog is back in Ocarina of Time. Exactly. And they also released a couple. They also released a couple new games, including Banjo-Kazooie is now on the Switch.
Yeah, was never a fan of that, but some people were.
I enjoyed it. Like it wasn't a favorite of mine, but I liked it.
I mean, always seemed to be a knockoff of oh gosh, what was that PlayStation one with the Tasmanian dude devil guy? Always spun around. I forget what the.
Well, that's Tasmanian Devil.
No, that's but PlayStation.
Oh, there was Spyro who spun around. There was Ratchet. Well, that was Clank.
Spyro. He was a dragon.
Right. There was Ratchet and Clank. There was Jack and Daxter.
Sean. He looked like a Tasmanian Devil or a fox with like shorts on and sneakers on.
Crash.
Crash Bandicoot. Yes, thank you. It just felt like a Crash Bandicoot. There we go.
You know, and in some respects, it probably was.
So, although technically it had 2 characters, one on your back and whatever you could do, but it just felt like Crash Bandicoot. Although I will say, the only reason also it annoys me is because of a lot of the Raspberry Pis I built. That one, Banjo-Kazooie, was always one of the worst modded for RetroPie.
Yes.
And it was horrible. It was always ran slow. And then a lot of people were complaining, that was the one game I wanted. It's like, I gave you 10,000 legally obtained games that I own and you also own. That I owned and now you also own because you paid me for them legally. And why are you complaining about this one game?
Big Spoon says Conker's Bad Fur Day. No, that was Gosh, how do you explain Conker's Bad Fur Day? That was Crash Bandicoot translated to Banjo-Kazooie, and then Conker's Bad Fur Day was the X-rated version of the knockoff of Crash Bandicoot. Like, we're 2 layers removed from the original source material at this point. It's like if Diddy Kong Racing had a trailer park living brother.
I hated Diddy Kong Racing.
I loved that game. That was such a good racing game.
No,
it was so much better than Mario Kart 64.
No,
yes,
no,
yes.
No, the steering in it was horrible.
You just suck at hovercraft, and you're pissed off at that.
The airplane sucked too.
Hold R, and you're fine.
It was horrible. Basically, it was like they ripped off the go-kart aspect of Mario Kart and then the battle, but then like, let's throw in these 2
ripped off. It's their own IP.
Whatever.
Nintendo owned Rare and Mario and Diddy at the time.
It's their own IP. Actually, no, I watched the biography, and I guess all of the programming though for the racing and all 3 are completely original programming and intelligence from Mario Kart, because they said, no, we have to make this different.
Yeah.
And they were banking on the flying and hovercraft aspect, like you were saying.
Yep.
But I
loved that game. Like I said, I liked it better than Mario Kart 64.
No, I love Mario Kart.
I will still play Diddy Kong Racing over Mario 64.
No, Mario Kart 64 was revolutionary. No, it was revolutionary.
It was a lot of what I'd seen on the Nintendo 60 or on the Super Nintendo.
It wasn't. Super Nintendo was flat.
Right.
It was flat. Mario Kart 64 was 3D. It was so much better. You had power, much better power sliding. It was way 1,000 times better. Smoother.
I think nostalgia is a hell of a lens, because no. Let me bring up a still frame. Hold on.
No.
Hold on. You deserve this, my friend.
Oh, I deserve to be right.
You deserve this.
So
this is a still frame from Mario 64. Shocker of all shockers, it's a sprite.
I don't care. It still look.
SNES was flat. Donkey Kong or Diddy Kong Racing used full 3D models for their cars, sir.
I don't care. It was still smoother and better. It was still a sprite. Sure, I don't care. The land was technically 3D and they used the sprite, but the racing and the controlling felt smooth. Diddy Kong Racing was choppy. It felt like playing a 60 FPS game in 24 FPS.
Let's see which one's 3D and which one's not. This one's
not.
Doesn't
matter what.
This
3D,
one is. This one's not. This one is.
And it looks like crap.
No, it does not.
It looks like it does. Look
it was
like
better
crap.
Multiplayer.
No, it wasn't.
Oh yes, it was. You just didn't have any friends.
So I was constantly 4-player Mario Kart all the time, baby. Battle Royale, 3 balloons. Where do you think they got battle mode from? They ripped that off of Mario Kart.
Yeah, not only did they have Battle Royale, they had like 4 other modes that you could play, and they were all amazing.
And they were all crap.
No, they were not.
You couldn't control the airplane at all.
100% of that game.
Well, and that is like talking about nostalgia of Star Fox and being like, oh yeah, I totally controlled the flight aspect of Star Fox.
Which one, SNES or N64?
SNES.
You didn't control Jack. That was a rail shooter at best.
Exactly, but that's what Diddy Kong Racing was.
No,
it was. You would sit there and hold the joystick so far to the right, and you're just like drifting ever so slow.
Right, you got to learn to control the drift.
I got to drift when I barely see the corner in
Mario
the graphics.
Felt like racing on rails.
Oh gosh, no, because you weren't good at
it. When you weren't getting run over by a bus or falling off the Rainbow Road.
Because you weren't good at it. I'm sorry.
I was fun.
Nah.
I also 100%ed Mario Kart 64. Diddy was just better.
You were like Toad, probably, I assume.
Nope, Yoshi.
Oh yeah. Yoshi's considered like the beginner racer. He's like, he starts off fast but has no acceleration.
Yeah.
And no and
The
and
problem
a low
is you were
speed.
probably Croc on Diddy Kong Racing when you should have been Tip Top.
No, I was always Diddy.
You were, well, that's the problem. It was,
I was like,
Tip Top and Pixie. That's who you got to go
The
as.
main character should be the easiest character.
Mario's like the third best at best.
And at the thing, if they don't
You're
even
saying
have
Yoshi is the
Donkey
best
Kong,
character?
No, Yoshi's the best beginner character. They're like, this guy's the most forgiving.
Right.
But they don't even have Donkey Kong in it. It's just so dumb. At least the original Mario Kart had Donkey Kong Jr. in it.
I'm so glad you paid for all this content, everyone. Oh, wait, it was free.
It's free. It's although I honestly, I would pay to see this banter.
Right. Banter. Well, if you want more of this banter, tune into the after party, which you can only get to by joining the Patreon, link down in the video description. Get on the Discord. We will be live and in person, or at least on chat here very shortly. Yeah. We do have one more super chat to get to. Denver, Fury 3 has graphics that hold up today. What is Fury 3?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Oh, yes. No, Fury 3 is the terminal velocity knockoff that Microsoft built. That's right. Oh, yeah. Based on was it the build engine? I want to say.
That's good.
Terminal Velocity is an amazing game, by the way.
It's got smooth turning action is what it looks like is a thing.
No, have you ever played Terminal Velocity?
It sounds very familiar. If I did, it wasn't a lot long, but you know,
it was a pre Duke Nukem 3D, 3D atmospheric space shooter where you're.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Like a planet.
So Fury 3 was built with that same engine.
Okay. Yes, I remember.
That's right. Like it's all coming together now.
Yeah. Well, it's been so long. Honestly, I never really paid attention to names. It was always like the art cover back then.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, it's that or the thumbnail.
What I pick up at software, etc. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was always the thumbnail, but I never looked at what it was named. I was like, oh, that's that game I like. I was like, oh, then when I start looking at screenshots, oh yeah, I totally remember that game.
Yep. Jeff, what classic computers do you own or have used? Commodore 64, IBM 5150, or anything like? I don't have a lot of retro PCs. That's the weird thing about me. I have an Apple IIgs. My very first computer was a Macintosh LC2. The first computer I ever built for myself was a 486 DX2, 66 megahertz with 12 megabytes of RAM and an 8 gig hard drive. So I'm not like, foreign to the PC thing. But I did grow up with different architectures. I've always been not a platform enthusiast. I've always been a tool enthusiast where I use the right tool for the right job. And I have a MacBook M1 for a laptop and Windows 10 on both my desktops. One's AMD, one's Intel. Like I bow to no man, and I will use whatever is the best tool for the job, which is why you can trust me. So there we go. Big Spoon says don't forget to like, and Rom points out that the likes are at 69, which makes things difficult. Yeah. I don't know that I can sway you that way right now, but if you feel like liking and breaking the chain, okay. Someone just disliked it, which brought me back down to 6. What the hell, people? I'm at 68 now. It was at 69.
Oh, my bad. Hang on.
Damn it, John.
I clicked the wrong button.
Yeah. As far as old computers that I still own, I still have a 2GS. I still have a matte color classic. I do have a functional dual slot 1 EATX motherboard that currently has dual Pentium 2 450s in it, which I'm going to upgrade to 933 Pentium 3s. I'm not sure if that'll make a video or not, but it'll be fun. But yeah, no, I've been all around the block as far as a lot of different things. Never got a lot of time with a Commodore outside of school. Like Commodores were what I had in 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. And then we've moved on to early PCs and iMacs, like the old rainbow acrylic iMacs. I had those in middle schools. They were like the brand new, like 1998 was going to be like insane, man. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I had. Anyway, yeah.
Anyway.
Thank you all for watching. Make sure to like this video if you haven't done so already. Also, subscribe to Craft Computing if you like content like this. If you like the beer content like we did tonight, like the War Tortoise from Lewitt Brewing or the St Anne Pirate Stout, make sure to look us up over at Hops and Brews. I'm there every once in a while, and John will fill you in on all the rest of the things that he drinks throughout the week. Lots of fantastic reviews over on his end. Let's see. Follow me on Twitter at Craft Computing. Follow John on pretty much any social media at Hops and Brews.
I'll do anything.
Yeah. He's got an OnlyFans that's to die for.
It is.
I'll just let that one marinate for a minute.
We'll leave it at that. Yeah, got no problem there. I got no rebuttal.
Every computer nerd should dream at least to use an IBM 5150. Hold on.
Oh, he has something.
Oh, what's this in the box? Is that an IBM keyboard, brand new in plastic? I believe it is.
Is that new in stock or?
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
do you even have an adapter to fit that keyboard?
I do. I also have one of these brand new in box.
Oh, are you gonna take the ball out?
John,
you should.
John,
wait, hang on, it's a little fuzzy for me.
This is the IntelliPoint. This is the first optical mouse.
Oh, okay. I thought I couldn't see that part. I had to go full screen.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
What is the DPI on that?
It's not good.
Like, scroll. Come on.
Right. so this is natively a USB mouse and does come with a PS2 adapter, so you can plug it into just about anything. That is not a Model M or a Model F keyboard. It is simply an IBM membrane keyboard, mass-produced early 90s, but not the buckle spring design, but still a solid membrane keyboard. Yeah, I bought both of those for the retro rig. Plus, I have a surprise edition for keyboard and mouse combo that I will be debuting in the video, and John knows what that is.
I do know what it is.
Yes.
I was going to act surprised, but then you said...
Yeah, no, John knows what that is. I'm not going to reveal anything here, but let me tell you, it's good, and it's from my childhood.
Yes, and if you want to see hints of that type of stuff, you have to join the Discord!
Right. I don't know if we could pimp it any more than we have tonight, but...
We have been, right?
It is literally second in my revenue stream to all of this video brought to you by, and who knows, maybe one day Patreon will bring a video to you by Patreon.
There we go.
Maybe you all can pay for a video. That'd be amazing.
That wouldn't be amazing.
Anyway, thank you all for watching. This has been episode 220 of Talking Heads. We are here every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer and tech news right here on YouTube. And as always...